Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's Electric Bilodeau. So, interesting guest this afternoon. I had a chance to talk with a former business executive. The guy's name is Jimmie James. Retired a couple years ago, decided to start traveling around the country and playing the top 100 golf courses in the entire country. And his goal was to play all 100 before the end of the one calendar year. And he did accomplish that. He's got a new book that he wrote about it coming out next month. And he actually lives down on Kiawah near the ocean course for at least part of the year. And he's going to have a book signing and an appearance coming up the second Monday in June, coming up in just a couple of weeks. So really interesting story to see how he started this idea and where he started, especially because he started at maybe the best golf course in the entire country. So let's hear from Jimmie James.
Very excited this week on Electric Bilodeau. Author, golfer, Jimmie James joining us. He's coming down to the Low Country next month when his new book comes out, Playing from the Rough. Jimmie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me to talk about the book and the launch of the book. I appreciate it.
So I got a note from your daughter, actually, who used to be a reporter in South Carolina, and she was the one who told me about this book. And I thought it was a really cool concept. So just to kind of go over everything, you spent 33 years as an executive, and after you retired, you decided to get into golf. And after you got into golf, you just decided, why don't I just play the best 100 courses in the country? Is that right?
That's close. So Lauren's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Who used to be a reporter there. So I appreciate her reaching out to you guys. But yes, after a 33-year career with ExxonMobil in the oil and gas industry, I decided to retire and spend the first year to see if I could play the 100 greatest golf courses in the country all in 1 year. 87 of which are private, 12 are resort, and 1 public course. So I needed 87 invites. And my objective was to get all those invites without ever asking anyone for an invite.
So now, I was reading through the press release too. Is it true the first one you played was Augusta National?
That was the first one. And so I played Augusta. That helped give me the idea.
Right.
Because my wife, who was the dean of the Kiawah School of Business at Emory University, had asked her board members if anyone knew an Augusta member that could get her husband on to play the course. And one of the members did. And that's part of what prompted the idea, was that I'd gotten an invite to Augusta National.
That's got to feel like starting at the mountaintop, just being able to play Augusta first.
Yeah, the thing about that is it's a crazy idea that you're going to play all of the most exclusive, hardest to get on golf courses in the country in 1 year. Crazy idea.
Yeah.
But when you say to people, I played Augusta already, then they take you serious. So having playing Augusta first made a big difference in being able to get access to the other 86 private courses that are in the 100 greatest courses in the country.
So when this idea pops in your head that you're going to play all 100 and you tell your wife, what was her reaction?
So she was supportive. She initially, my idea was I was going to play 2 golf courses in every state. One with strangers at a private club and one at a public course. One with strangers at a public course and one with friends at a private course. That added up to 100. So it was just math to me.
Right.
But she got me this book by John Sabino, a golf writer. He played the world top 100 over a lifetime. And so I said, well, I'm going to play 100 courses. Why not just play the 100 best? So she was supportive of me playing the 100 courses. And then when I told her I wanted to play the most exclusive 100, she was also supportive.
So I know a big part of this story is, having to rely on the help of strangers pretty much. And, whether that was them helping you get on the course or just helping you, get to these spots. Just explain how that part of the idea came about.
Yeah, so behind your shoulder, you have a flag from the 18th hole. I assume that's the ocean course at Kiawah Island.
Yes.
We have a house in Kiawah, and I would play the ocean course often. And I'd go out as a single and just get paired with a group. each time I did that, the group I was paired with, they'd always say, hey, you should come and play our course, wherever their course was. So the idea came to me that if I played the resort courses, the 12 resort courses early in that year, I would probably meet people who would invite me to come and play their courses, or would know someone that was a member at a top 100 course and would ask that person to host me. And that's how it came together organically. It was more, so 75% of the private courses that I played, my hosts were people I did not know when I started at the beginning of that year to play the 100 courses. So it's just kindness and generosity of strangers.
So which was the course that was hardest for you to get on? And how did you get on eventually?
So believe it or not, and this will sound odd to a lot of people, but Milwaukee Country Club, which is really not in Milwaukee, it's just north of Milwaukee. And it has a very clubby membership, so local membership, not much national notoriety, but a fantastic course along the river. I couldn't find anyone through all my travels and talking that knew someone from Milwaukee Country Club until I was playing in Kansas. On a driving range in Kansas, there was a guy, we struck up a conversation. He was from Austin, Texas, but his uncle worked for Exxon in Fairfax, Virginia, which is where I worked. And he and his uncle and I had worked together. And so he goes and gets his buddy who's on the trip with him and says, you got to come meet this guy. And the buddy meets me. He says he's going to play the top 100 courses in the country in a year. And he said, so you have like a staff arranging all this for you? And the initial guy said, yeah, you and me, we're going to help him. And so he asked me if there were courses I was having difficulty getting on, and I mentioned Milwaukee Country Club. He said, got you covered. A friend of mine's brother is a member there. I'll call him and ask him to host you. And that's pretty much how it went that whole year. People would introduce me to other people who'd introduce me to friends or relatives, and that's how I got on to all the courses.
That's pretty much the most amazing part of this story. It's not just that you set this goal and you played these 100 courses, but the way you get onto each course and how it's just about relationships basically, and the help you had to get onto some of these courses.
Yeah, so part of this whole thing, it was really not truly about golf, even though it involved golf. It was really more about proving to myself that the American dream was still alive. I grew up in the late Jim Crow era in East Texas in abject poverty, a shack, tin roof shack, no plumbing or electricity, and got an education, had a fantastic career with an iconic company, rose from entry-level engineer to executive. And I wanted to see if this country was still a place where strangers could get sucked into somebody else's dream and help them achieve that dream. And this journey across that year proved that, yes, at least in the world of golf, people can still fall captivated by someone else's dream and go out of their way to help that person achieve their dream.
So I want to talk about the golf a little bit. Which of the 100 courses was your favorite?
So I don't do just one favorite.
Okay.
So I have to do 5.
Okay.
But it's 5 real quickly for different reasons, no certain order. But Augusta National has to be among anybody's favorite 5. Just the magic of the place, and that every blade of grass is in its place. And you get to play all the courses you've seen for years, all the holes you've seen for years while watching the Masters. Then there's Pine Valley, tough, difficult course. Some courses have let-up holes. There are no let-up shots at Pine Valley. The slightest miss, and you're in deep trouble. Marion, the membership and their respect for the game, the traditions of the game. So the red wicker baskets on the flag sticks, just filled with traditions. And then you have this fantastic championship course, so rich and steeped in golf history. Fisher's Island, charming course around the perimeter, the eastern perimeter of an island that's in Long Island Sound. With Seth Rayner design, charming, breathtaking views as you go around the holes. And then I think that's 4. And then Cypress Point, where it's just laid out along a 17-mile drive, that craggy coastline of Southern California with the white-capped waves washing ashore. Every hole is different, and every hole can be played differently. So it's just an amazing place. So those were my 5 favorite out of the 100.
So I know there were 2 in the Low Country that you must have played, and I wanted to ask you about those. You say you have a place out on Kiawah, so I assume you've been to the Ocean Course a lot. I think that was ranked 24, and I know I'm biased, but I can't believe that there's 23 courses in the country that are better than the Ocean Course. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
I play the Ocean Course as often as I can. I love playing the Ocean Course. And so there are 2, as you said, in the Low Country. There's the Ocean Course at Kiawah, which I wanted to be my 100th course because I wanted my journey to end there, because it was the very first top notable course that I ever played in my life. And it couldn't be 100 because I had 365 days to get this done in, and Wade Hampton in North Carolina was closed for most of that year. They opened a week and a half before my 365th day, and they would only allow my host to host me on my very last day. So I came in and I played Kiawah, the Ocean Course at Kiawah, as my 99th course, and then went up to North Carolina and played Wade Hampton as my 100th course. But the Ocean Course is fantastic. I've played it so often that I understand that Pete Dye gives you places to miss. And if you take those lines and you don't hit your best shot, you're going to be okay. But if you take the most direct lines and you miss, it's just hard to recover. And it has more holes along the ocean than any other course in the country. So it's a spectacular. And the other is a Seth Rayner design in the Low Country, of course, with the Low Country charm, Yeaman Hall, where the beauty of the place, the trees with the Spanish moss dripping, the views of the salt marsh, just spectacular views, and then a great design with all the template holes from the Seth Rayner designs. And then just for fun's sake, the head pro, Claude, and I played football against each other in Texas. He was a punter in high school, and our high school teams played against each other. He went on to play college football for Baylor.
Okay.
I didn't, but we played against each other in high school.
That's amazing. All right, so I know the book comes out next month. You're going to be over at the Ocean Course on June 11th for a book launch. Just now that this has all come together and the book is ready to come out, and there it is right there, just what does it mean to you that this book is ready to come out, and what does it mean to you that you completed this whole journey?
Well, completing the journey itself, setting a goal, being able to complete that goal with the kindness and generosity of so many people, just for me, it proved again to me that with all of our differences and challenges in this country, we still can come together to help someone achieve a dream. The book itself was just as hard to write as it was hard to play all those courses. So that sense of completion. And while writing the book, one of my goals was for every person who reads it, for every reader, to find a piece of themselves in some of the stories, to show how interconnected we are and how much more the same we are than we are different. So that's an objective, and I hope that the reader, as they're going through the book, just finds a piece of themselves and say, hey, no matter how different this guy is from me, wow, we have a lot of the same experiences. So that's important to me also.
Last thing before I let you go. So now that this goal has been set, what's the next goal you have? Is it playing 100 international courses, or is there another goal you've set so far?
I've got 20 left for the top 100 in the world. And I was planning 10 this year and 10 next year, but I have 20 left. So it's more golf. I've had the opportunity to play some wonderful courses around the world, and they're the same way as I did in the U.S. Because of the journey that I completed in the U.S., I've gotten invites from all around the world to come and play.
That's amazing. Well, Jimmie James, like I said, the book, Playing from the Rough, comes out in June. You're going to be over at the Ocean Course on June 11th for a book launch. Very excited, very happy for you. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks so much to Jimmie James for joining us once again. His appearance coming up at Kiawah, coming up the second Monday of the month as his new book comes out on playing the top 100 golf courses in the country in just 1 year. Really fascinating to talk to him. I can't wait to get a hold of that book as well. All right, we will be back here Friday for the Friday Night Lights tailgate. Until then, everyone have a great week.